Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And welcome, CyberCast IRL. Glad you joined me for this very early morning. I totally get it. It is early, but I got dad duties, you know. That's kind of how things work from time to time. Hopefully everything is working. Fingers crossed. I tested this thoroughly yesterday, so now it should be streaming the way it's supposed to stream. And I'm glad you joined me. If you're here, I really appreciate you waking up with me this morning. Man, I'm gonna need some go juice. You know how it goes. Not a beer, right? And there we go. That's right. Nectar to Gods right there. Little ambrosia to get me rocking this morning. Oh, you just get the ASMR. Oh yeah. Let it sink in. We're a little early. I started a little early. Good morning, Haircut Fish. Wanted to make sure everything was rocking. So if you see any hiccups, you please let me know. Oh man, I cannot wait to get this. My cup runneth over a little bit too much. I'd take some down so that I can't even get the top on this thing. It is to the brim. I kind of underestimated how much was in that can there. But now I will be ready to rock and or roll, maybe both at the same time, on some cybersecurity stuff. Oh yeah, those are good. Man, they're probably the purple monster or the peach monster is got to be my favorite. It goes back and forth, honestly. Good morning, Haircut Fish's kids. I can't get the top on my. Hold on, we're gonna try to squeeze it on here. Hopefully, I don't make a horrible mess. All right. I think I got it. Well, welcome every morning. It is officially 8 o'clock, and welcome to CyberCast IRL. Good morning, Kitty's Review. Glad to have you this early in the Saturday AM. It just shows your dedication. It shows that you are all about that cyber life. And you are going to rock and roll with it this morning. Good morning, White Hat Sheepdog. My good friend Bijan. Glad to have you guys. Today I thought we would just have some fun. You know, Saturday morning seems a bit early for a cybercast, and normally I probably would have pushed it out to 10, but my wife is taking two of the kids out, so I've got to do dad duty for the other at that time. So otherwise, I probably would have pushed it back, because even for me, this was a little bit on the early side on a Saturday morning. But we're gonna have some fun today. I thought it would be, would be interesting to do is let's go job hunting. Let's go out to the job boards and let's see what is being asked for. What are some relevant skills that they're looking at? Good morning, Mark. And yeah, I'm a little tired. I'm not a morning person. That's why I got my purple drink of death. It's gonna be amazing. That's gonna at least get me get my insides rocking and rolling, and so that we can have some fun today. But yes, I think that it would be fun. Just kind of go. I do this from time to time, just personally, because I think it's interesting. I've got to stay on top of what is relevant in the job space, so I can see, are the skills that I'm teaching lining up with the things that are being asked for in the job? And if not, what am I, it's a good place to see what has become normalized as far as jobs go. And of course, just to see kind of, what kind of experience is being asked for, how many junior roles, how many entry-level roles, and what goes on in those roles, especially on the, when you teach cyber skills, a lot of times you are teaching to the newbies, right? The fresh off the boats, the people that are just ready and raring. But they don't know anything yet, and they don't know where to go and what's expected of them. So it's up to us who have kind of been there or are in that space to shepherd them, right? Where's my cyber sheepdogs at? I know I got one already. And show them these are the things that you need. And of course, that needs to be accurate. So that's why I think it's always a good idea. And we're going to get to play. Like I said, I'm in OBS today. So this is going to be fun. Ready? Booyah. Look at that. Wasn't that so much easier? You just hit a little button on your Stream Deck, and then it changes the view. And that is the way God intended it. So let's fire up the old browser, and let's go to Indeed, like Indeed.com. Let's see what kind of... I like how Indeed is totally like calling me out. Oh, you're in Ocala, Florida? No, I'm not. I live in Ocala. So it's a weird random place in which you grab. A fun fact about Ocala, we are one of the, if not the fastest growing cities in the nation. And I can tell you, it is true fact. They're building so many new houses and apartments, and a lot of jobs are coming here. So it's we have a lot of like industrial jobs here, manufacturing. So I'm guessing that's what's making the draw. We also have, I think we have Lockheed Martin is here as well. So there's little country Ocala, Florida, in the middle of north central Florida, or I guess more central Florida, is growing like a weed. But let's take a look. I'm going to remove that because I just want to look anywhere in the nation. I want all jobs. And I'm going to look for, what should we look for? Should we go red team or blue team? Obviously my proclivity would be for, hey, what kind of red team jobs are out there? But let's see what we got. I'm just going to go for, so I'm going to jump in with, let's do penetration tester. And no, I don't want anywhere. Just search. Just show it to me. And let's see here. Does it tell you how many? I thought it did. Relevance. Get rid of these dumb little privacy settings. And there we go. Okay, Haircut Fish asks, before we get too deep in these weeds, what are your thoughts on the relevancy of blog writing and personal growth and future job opportunities? So I think it's a really good idea, if only for one reason. Obviously, there could be a multitude, and probably are, but for the blog writing is good for you. And here's why. Even if no one ever reads it, even if no one ever sees it, even if it doesn't help you get a job per se, like if you're thinking, oh, if I put a blog out there, I can put that on my resume, which you absolutely can, and there's nothing wrong with being able to do that. I think it's good to show on your resumes that you have interest in what it is you're trying to gainfully employ in. So, a blog is great for those things. But for me, the primary reason why I'm writing a blog or doing a YouTube channel or whatever, some form of expression of the art, as it were, is that it helps you kind of like work through your thoughts. You have to be able to explain it in a way that makes sense. So whatever it is you're blogging about, right? If you just kind of vomit on the page a bunch of nonsense that doesn't really, like, there's a bunch of logical fallacy, like things don't make sense, and you're just like, this doesn't really add up what you're talking about. And of course you'll proofread what you've written, hopefully. Don't just YOLO a blog post, because that's a great way to get made fun of, unless that's what you're looking for. When you're proofreading, you'll be like, I didn't really make any sense the way I said this. Maybe I don't understand that as well as I think I do. Or as you're writing that stuff, you're going to be working through those thoughts and trying to form those thoughts into that cohesion that makes a lot of sense, which really solidifies that information in the old noodle, right? It was exactly what you want, especially if you're studying for a certification, or you're trying to really wrap your mind around a certain concept or tool or tactic or whatever as you're writing this out. And this is why I suggest also that you do walkthroughs and write-ups, and not just in the vein of, hey, here's how I defeated this CTF. Walkthroughs and write-ups for CTFs. That's I should have finished that sentence. But not just, hey, here's a crude write-up on the steps I took. I've read way too many of those, by the way, and those suck. They They barely help anyone when you kind of do that. But if you go into it with the mindset of, I am going to write this up like it was a job, like I was doing a pen testing engagement, like I was doing an analysis, like I was doing incident response, like I was doing whatever, right? Just pick the type of cyber role you're looking to do, and then treat that CTF as your production, your whatever, your pen testing engagement, and then you write that up like you were going to deliver that as the final report. Well, guess what you do? You've worked through all that stuff. You know exactly how all the things you did work because you're trying to explain it to someone else so that they can recreate it, verify it, and then therefore do something about it. And so you have to be very precise in your language. You have to be very precise in your narrative, your storytelling of what's going on. And that makes you have to know that information very well, right? So this is, we talked yesterday about doing bug bounty or responsible disclosure, or just, security research. Go buy a device, go look at something and poke at it with a stick a little bit. Always write that stuff up. Don't just do it, but take really good detailed notes, screenshots, annotations, the whole 9 yards, so that you can write that up. And then back to Haircut Fish's question about blogs. Here I am doing this. I'll go here. Then you have this useful resource, not only to you because it made you have to work your way through it, but also you have something that's useful to other people, right? And now it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? So I'm very pro doing these things, not just to build your brand, or even foremost to build your brand, your personal brand, but so that it is a resource for everyone, and first and foremost you, right? So that your skills go up when you do that. And that's the best reason for doing that stuff. It's to increase your skills and your abilities, and to solidify that knowledge in your brain. And now you have a resource that you can look back at and go, oh yeah, I remember doing that. Let me go look at that blog post I made. It's going to have all the steps. It's going to have all that, and you're going to curate that. You're going to water and tend it like a garden. And you're going to do that for everything you do. Everything you learn, write it up. Now, have I done that? No. I mean, I have in a way, right? Because my body of work is my training courses. That's where it gets done. I actually do have a lot of, I have all my notes that I've written over. I've been doing this specifically for at least 8 years. I have all these notes. I've got handwritten notes. I've got digital notes. I've got stuff, I've got my GitHub. I've got my YouTube. And then, of course, I have all the training content that I've done for IT Pro and ACI. So that's where I've done it. But not everybody does it for a living, right? No, like, right. I'm kind of blessed in the fact that my job is to learn new things to the extent to where I have mastery over them, so that I can teach them to other people and then use them. So, but when you do something, when you learn something, it will be extremely beneficial for you to make very detailed notes, try to work on your narrative, make sure that you're not having, work on your grammar, make it good, make it like, think of yourself as, this is supposed to be professional. Now, does that mean you can't have some fun? No, absolutely not. I'm anti not fun. I know, right? Have some fun with it. Enjoy what you're doing, right? At the end of the day, if it's just your blog post, you want to present at least some type of professionality, but you also want to have some fun, show some personality with it as well. Because, job seekers and things of that nature, people will enjoy your stuff more, including yourself, if you've had fun with it. And B, job seekers, they're people too, or job seekers, like hiring managers. So if someone is looking at your blogs or whatever it is, you write-ups and things of that nature, and they're seeing your personality, they're getting to know who you are as a person, and whether maybe not you're a culture fit for their specific thing. And if they like what they see, they like, man, this person's really fun and engaging. Also, obviously, they're smart because look at all this lovely technical information that they put on this page. So I highly encourage you to start a blog. I think it is a great idea. Oh, good. You share yours on that. That's great. Your blogs are doing write-ups mostly on Try Hack Me rooms. I'm working on CK7 modules right now. Very cool. Very cool. Good morning, Chris Young. Look who's in the chat. Old Chris. So, yeah, there you go. I like that idea. I think it's a great idea. Hopefully, you keep it up. You have a good time with it. And it's just going to make you better. What's going on? Keep going live. I will. I will, sir. You keep motivating me. I'll keep motivating you, bro. Fist bumps. That's what's up. All right. Let's Outlaw 11. Just stopping by and say, hey, make sure to hit the like button to show your appreciation for Daniel taking his time out and share his knowledge with us. Thank you, Outlaw. I appreciate that. I do what I can. You know, this is fun. I mean, come on, people. Let's have some flippin' fun, shall we? Is that too much to ask out of life? I mean, we only go around the sun so many times. Let's go have a good time doing it. I'm not saying get too crazy, right? But dang, tell me the reason you got into cybersecurity. I'm going to guess because it looked like it was fun. And then, of course, the fun sponge tries to come around and soak up all the fun and remove it from the party. But no, sir. That's not how we roll. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun. We're going to crack some jokes. I don't care if they're lame or funny or, hysterical. We got to have some fun in this life and in this business because, let's talk burnout for a second, right? Too many people get burned out because they keep their nose to the grindstone. They keep the axe down, their hand to the plow, and they never look up, or it's just all business. And unfortunately in corporate America, that can be the case, right? Like I watched a YouTube video the other day, and they said the future of work looks like it's going to be single person businesses where everyone just starts their own business and specializes in the thing that they specialize in. And instead of working, I would probably say it's probably going to be, always a bit of both. We're going to see a bigger increase in single person businesses. I think that's probably more the realistic view of it. You're never going to get rid of corporate America. And then the reason there is corporate America is because small businesses grow, right? And I've been a part of corporate America like I am now, and I have been before. But I've also been a part of a startup, and I've worked for small businesses and small companies, and I've worked for myself and done freelance work and contract work. So I will tell you, startups are fun, right? Because it's just a small group of people that get really close and they have a lot of fun. That is if I were to ever start my own business, I think the allure of growing a company, growing your startup to be this big thing so that it can be acquired or get funding is very appealing to a lot of people. And don't get me wrong, I get it when someone starts throwing big money numbers at you about, hey, we'd like to acquire or fund you, and we're going to do it to the tune of $5 million, $10 million, $25 million, $50 million. Ooh, buddy, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. You can do a lot with a lot of money. But for me, I like money. Money's good. Having more money is better than not, but it's not my end all be all in life, is to be a rich person. I just want enough money so that I can pay all my bills, and I don't worry about it, right? I know that I have enough money to pay my bills, and that I have a little extra so I can do things like, buy something for my guitar every now and then, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, maybe go on a vacation, right? So I really like, for me, the ideal is to be right there in that solid middle class kind of monetarily. That's enough for me, but I'm not David Rockefeller out here. When somebody asked him, how much money do you need, sir? And he says, just a little bit more, the pursuit of money is not my life. Hopefully it's not yours either. I mean, if it is, that's fine. But because of those big numbers, you sell, right? You take on investors, and then your product stops being about making something cool, making something awesome that everybody likes and wants, and it starts becoming about profit. And you can lose sight, right? I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm just saying, speaking in generalities here, but you can lose sight of the product and your customers. So, for me, if I were to start a business, I would let it just grow organically. I would never try to throw jet fuel on the fire, look for investment, look for acquisition, and I'd probably turn down a lot of opportunity. And maybe that kills the company. Maybe it does. If it does, it does. It wasn't meant to be, right? I just want to have fun at work and do what I love. That's the reward for me, and have enough money to pay my bills and have a little fun on the side. Help my kids. Like my oldest daughter needs braces, and she just got her first like spacer or whatever it is, something in her mouth that's kind of like spreading her teeth out and helping her. I grew up pretty poor. Didn't have a lot of money growing up, and it's funny. You would think that I would be all about money because of that, but no. I learned to appreciate things that you already have and kind of be content with a lot, right? You ask my wife, man, she's always like, he never spends any money on himself. I know I look like I have a lot of guitars, but I've accumulated them over a 30-year guitar history, right? I still have one of my very first guitars. It's sitting right there. I bought it in 1998. I still have it. I still play it because I love it. That's what I cut my teeth. I got another one right there I bought in like 2002. Right there. What else do I got going? I got another couple that I got right there that I bought in. Then I bought, I bought one guitar in 2006. And I bought another one in like 2008 because I got a new job and was making more money. I had a little extra money. I was like, cool. Then I really splurged one year in like 2011 and bought an expensive guitar because I was a single person and I had a lot of extra income. And I thought, I'm going to do this one time. Right? Well, thank you, Chris. I said, things we in cyber appreciate in the wisdom of Daniel Lowry. I don't know if I'm wise. I'm just kind of telling you my thoughts on these things. But just in my experience, this seems to be how it goes. So do the job for the love of it and the fun of it, right? And we go kind of circling all the way back to keep the fun in it, and you'll never get tired of the job. I always, for the most part, I'm having fun building labs and like trying tools and going, this is going to work, and getting the rush of working with a new technique or tactic or tool or something and getting it all to work after all the frustration and the struggle. And then watching it do the thing it's supposed to do. And you're like, yes, got that, right? You know what I'm talking about. I had a friend named Tyler, and his little brother's name was Craig. And we used to, Craig was little, and we would say adult things that he had no clue about, and Tyler would always be like, you know what I'm talking about, Craig, like he was older. So that's like a little inside joke. I'll probably say that more often. I say it to my friends, I'm like, you know what I'm talking about, Craig. I'm like, I'm not Craig, but you keep calling me Craig. I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Craig. That's right. So you know what I'm talking about, Craig. Keep the fun in it. Do not, like, if everybody needs money to pay their bills, everybody needs to take care of their family, and this job can pay well. So that is it's not a factor in the pursuit of it, but let the drive for the coolness of it and the funness of it be your motivator more than the money side. Because if you start letting money take over, it can make you make bad decisions. Get jobs you probably don't like just because it had a pretty price tag next to it. Just talking to a friend yesterday, and he was like, I'm in a good job that I like, and I'm making okay money, but I saw this job role, and the money on it was a bit better, and I'm thinking about jumping. I'm like, well, you got to weigh the pros and cons, right? If you're in a job you like, and I've done that, I've jumped from one job to another that I solely for the money of it, and then regretted that decision for like a solid year. And honestly, it wasn't, if it hadn't been for the fact that I got promoted a space opened up on a different side of the IT team, specifically in the infrastructure, right, doing systems and network administration. I would have quit that job so fast. I regretted going to that job. I was working on workstation support, and I regretted that for like a solid year of my life. It was a drudgery to go to that job every day. I had some cool people that I worked with, so that kind of made it a little bit better. But every time I had to put that headset on, whoo, buddy. Now, I don't get me wrong. I've worked at other workstation support jobs that were great. They were super fun. You were helping people and everything, but like the environment around that workstation support job was just like people thought you were like some sort of rented mule, and they could just unload on you everything and treat you like garbage and do idiotic things and then get mad at you for calling them out or trying to instruct them on how to do better. So that was not fun. So trust me, the grass is not always greener, even if it has a giant price tag next to it. All right, let's check in the chat just because I haven't looked at it for a second here. Good morning, Chillin' Spree. I really enjoy your content. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoy it. I work hard. I hope you have fun. Again, goes right back to fun, right? This is why I do this. It is fun. I have really enjoyed doing these live streams, and that's why I do them. I do them because they're fun, and I need some fun in my life, right? You need fun in your life, and this is how you keep yourself from going crazy and losing the plot. You know what I mean? So do something fun. Find something fun you like to do, and you better schedule it into your day and do it, because otherwise you'll lose your mind. Any advice on how to sustain? Chris Young asks, any advice on how to sustain myself during CyberCons? Just one day, I'm struggling to keep my eyeballs open this morning. Yes, I have been there. And because I'm older now, I'm not in my 20s anymore. I still, I'm kind of the fuddy-duddy when it comes to cons. I stay on Eastern time, so unless it's in Eastern time, an Eastern time zone, it can start to get fun for me. Like Wild West Hackin' Fest, good example. Or Black Hat, you get out there where you're 2 and 3 hours different from where you're normally from, so you got jet lag. And then it's like, do I stay up with everyone like it's actually 8 o'clock when my body's telling me it's 10, 11? You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I'm going to regret this tomorrow, because you don't want to miss out on all the revelries. So what I try to do is make an appearance, stay for a reasonable amount of time, and then get to bed, right? You just have to get to bed. And that will allow you, because you're on a different time zone. I don't know where you're at, Chris, so there's that. But the times, that jet lag thing is a real bugger to overcome. So I just try to make sure that I get my sleep, man. I want to be, I don't want to rob myself of being fresh for talks and kind of taking that information in. And then, of course, the hallway con that you have inside the con is always usually amazing. That's honestly, you find the best talks, you try to hit those, and you fingers crossed that they're really good. And a lot of times they are. But those hallway cons are really where conventions become really worth going to. You meet new people, you have great conversations, you're just talking about the job and things, and getting other perspectives and learning about stuff that people are doing. So yeah, it can be a struggle to keep your eyeballs open. So try to get a flight that gets you in, either early. So take the red eye in the morning, so that way you can land wherever you're going to be and get to your hotel, get checked in, get unpacked, maybe take a shower, have a rest, lay down, grab a bite to eat, watch a little TV, unwind. That's what I try to do, is like, if I can't, I don't want to show up wherever I'm going at 10 at night, then have to go to the hotel and go through all that, and then try to wind down and get to sleep by the time it's midnight, 2-3 o'clock my time. And then I got to get up for a con that starts at 8 o'clock that time. It's like, no stinking way. Going to be dying, right? So Yeah, you just got to try to plan as best you can. Other than that, I tend to try these things. Some people really get affected by them. I don't really get a lot of kick from them. I just like the taste, and it's cold and refreshing. That's mainly one of mine big reasons I drink that. But I try to, like, I eat something, I get going, and then that kind of recharges me in the morning. And at night, when everybody's doing stuff and having a great time, you gotta be there for it for a little bit. And unless you're having like a really worthwhile conversation with somebody, if you're just hanging out, everybody's having fun, that's what you go for, right? You go there to be a part of it, show everybody that you're, part of the group. You can have fun. You're a fun person, but unless you're having some sort of like life altering conversation, if you're always everybody's having a good time, and yes, you could miss out on something, but you got to be fresh, man. Otherwise, you're just gonna die. Or you can just take the philosophy of, I guess I'm gonna be, toothpicks, hold my eyes open, and I'm gonna be on the struggle bus this whole con, because I don't want to miss a drop of its honey, right? So you got to make that decision. If you're young enough to suffer through it, power down a bunch of energy drinks and really destroy your internal system for a few days. Might be worth it. Let's see here. Where are we going here? What else we got here? We have, money equals another guitar. Greetings from Kenya, from Ian Vallow. Oh, that's so cool. Kenya showing out. What's up, Ian? Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope, it's morning for us. I don't know what it is in Kenya. I would assume it's quite a bit different. Maybe you're in the afternoon at this point, right? I think that's about where you're going, right? Maybe even the early evening. That's cool. Should beginners go the freelance or single business model, or go down the traditional work path? Yes. Both of them have their pros and cons, so I would not cut off any avenue. I would say that both is probably the answer, honestly, because you're not always, especially when you're new, you're not always going to have the ability to, show or because you don't have the experience, it's going to have a hard time getting a job. So doing freelance stuff, all of a sudden you have experience that you're looking for. So there's like Upwork and stuff like that you can do, or Fiverr. Heck, put it on Craigslist, right? Who cares? Start your own website, put it out there that you do X, Y, and Z type freelance computer work, and put contact information on that, and hopefully some business comes in. Doesn't matter if you get 2 calls, right? And you do 2 jobs. Those are real jobs that you actually did and made money off of. It's better than nothing. And what's the value in it comes on being able to put it on your resume, right? Unless you do a really good job and you start getting a book of business, you start to build your own business, and heck, you might go, cool, this actually really worked out. And now this is my business. I just do this. That could totally be what happens. So again, don't cut off any avenue. Do everything. If you're not able to find a job right now, which is likely, this job market's kind of trash. Hopefully it gets better. It seems like IT in general is in a contraction. We've seen layoffs and all that other stuff. So it might be more difficult right now for you to find gainful employment in the space. You're competing with people that got laid off, that have 5, 10, 15 years experience. That can make it difficult for people to find gainful employment. But don't cut off any avenue, and just do what's expedient at the time. And if you do start to grow your own business, well, so much the better. Then you got to worry about anybody giving you a job. Then we go back to the idea of you'll be a single person entrepreneur, and cool. You just do your thing. Have your business. It'll be awesome. Things we in cyber appreciate. Oh yeah, I read that one from Chris. Thank you, Chris. Let's see here. Meeting and talking with people is the best part of cons. Absolutely. Herba Mate. Oh man, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. I just had to hit that one real quick. That stuff. Oh, tis not my favorite. I've tried it. And no thank you. I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people at work at ACI, they like to drink that stuff. But man, I took one sip and was like, who wants an herbal mate slightly used? Certified pre-owned. Because I don't want it. And I'm willing to just give it away. That's how much I don't like this. Let's see here. Yeah, Haircut Fish says, meeting and talking with people is the best part of the cons. I would absolutely agree. It's the best stuff that I've done. And here's the thing. If you're going to join a conversation, you're going to be, and I think I talked with you about this, Bijan. I think we talked about this. Is if you're going to be a part of the conversation, be a part of the conversation. Now, there are times when you need to kind of step back, but kind of, I know you're trying to hear what's being said and you're trying to soak all that stuff in, but don't just be passive all the time. Think of good questions that you have in your mind to inject into that conversation, because it keeps the conversation going, it keeps it flowing, and it becomes really that session, kind of like what we're doing here, right? You guys are having good comments, but you're also having good questions and stuff that is prodding the conversation down the road. You want to do the same thing at a con, right? And I see this a lot where people are like, they either want to show themselves to be the smartest person in the room. You're like, well, really the way it works, actually, Daniel, blah, blah, blah. That does happen. Not a ton, but it does happen. So don't be that guy. What you want to be is more Socratic. Well, let's put it that way, right? Hey, I've got a question. I've seen this. Is that normal, or is that just a weird, I've just happened to coincidentally seen the outliers. What do you guys think of X, Y, or Z? Because it seems to me like you start to see how now you're contributing to the conversation. You're not just throwing some weird question grenade, which is typically, work on those personal skills. Work on your conversational skills and being able to flow and speak. Slow your brain down. Lower your anxiety. Every one of us there, myself included, we're just people. We're just, just because I'm on the internet and people watch my training, and I got rando people coming up to me and saying, I watched your training. It was so good. I'm glad to meet you. I love that, because I love seeing how people have success. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are right now pen testers. They are red teamers. They are in incident response. They're in whatever line of work, mostly pen testers and stuff. But some of them are SOC analysts as well. I say, oh man, I watched your training. It was so great. And then I got my CISA. I got my Pentest Plus. I got my CEH. I got my, and I was the person that helped them get through that first hurdle. And from there, they, obviously all their success is their own. I don't contribute anything to myself. They did the hard work. They acquired the knowledge. All I did was present it to them, right? So I was a resource, but I'm not the person that got them success in getting their certification. They are. That's all you. But it is cool to hear, hey, I used you as a resource and it was very helpful. And I'm like, that's awesome. And now you're doing a pen testing job. You're doing a whatever job. So I love that. So don't let that be an intimidation to you if you're not that person yet. Not everybody does YouTube and training for a living. And that's, so you're not going to have that large scale or larger scale notoriety. That's not why I do it anyway, right? I do it because I want to help people. I want them to succeed. I want to see their success and feel good. It makes me feel good to see them succeed and be able to put food on their table and roofs on over their heads and clothes on their back at a higher level than they were before. That's what I want to see, and that's why I like doing this job. So, yeah, there you go. All right, let's get back to, we were job hunting, and where are we at with time? 8:37. We're going to call this at 9 o'clock because I'll have, daddy duties to do. Let's take a look. We look for red team. First thing that pops up here is, senior red team penetration tester remote. And there is the salary. Let's see what we got. We got 118,000 to 246,000. That's a large range for a senior. You would think it would be a little bit tighter than that. Like if I found myself to be a senior red teamer, pen tester, at what point would I, if you're offering up to 246,000, why would I not get that, or at least somewhere close to it? Or is that just pie in the sky to try to attract people? That I hate. That's the kind of things I hate about job posts. Welcome, Bear. Oh man, that's super fun. Okay, let's see here. Obviously, programming experience with a focus on penetration testing and process automation. I guess this is for Raytheon. Yeah, Raytheon Technologies. Gotta love that. I bet it's gonna be like, oh, by the way, do you have? Where is the? Why is that not doing it? I guess I gotta. What's going on here? It's funny. It's not showing me. It's not allowing me to. You know what? I probably have to click on it. There we go. Click on that. There we go. So I think that's what I had to do. And then show me the. Yeah, that's weird. Why is that not working? Listen here, Indeed. There's the slider. It has a slider. Stinking framed websites. What the heck is going on here? That is so crazy. Look at that. I hate this. Okay, I don't have to do this. I'll just read it. So I think it's probably going to have like, you must have, this is a horribly laid out website. All right. You get a lot of benefits. Well, at least it says anyway. How much that's going to cost you per check is God knows, right? Just because they offer you benefits don't mean they're great. I have definitely been down that road. Hey, we give you vision, dental, and blah, blah, blah. It's only going to cost you, $1,500 a paycheck. And then they don't actually pay for anything. They give you discounts. It's fun, isn't it? Anyway, I think with Raytheon, you're going to need clearance, like a secret, top secret clearance. Role overview, enterprise services. Cybersecurity has been an immediate opening for qualified and motivated penetration tester to join RTX Cyber Defense. Reporting to the Associate Director of Cyber Testing, Assessments, and Simulations. As the Senior Red Team penetration tester, you will be responsible to plan, communicate, coordinate, and conduct Red Team activities, penetration tests, and security assessments for cloud environments. So it is cloud specific. Oh no, it's a bunch. Cloud environments, applications, systems, and enterprise networks while adhering to strict rules of engagement and ethical cyber behavior. What you will do, you will scope, plan, and execute. And that's a really good thing. That I'm glad I know this is a senior role and not an entry level or junior position, but scoping is a big part of the job. So scoping is something you need to be able to do effectively. It's not really that hard. You just have to think about it. It's very logical in how it works. You just say, hey, what do you want us to test? And not only that, when do you want us to test it? And not only that, right? What tools would you like us to, we were thinking we're going to use this tool and that tool and these techniques. Is that in scope? Scoping is kind of like an exercise in minutia, thinking of all the little angles. What type of test is this going to be? That also kind of tells you and kind of defines the scope. Is it going to be a black box test? Is it going to be a white box test? Is it a gray box test? What kind of test is happening? If we're doing some sort of assumed breach, then obviously we're not going to be doing phishing and that kind of stuff. So it's a really good idea to learn. So when we were talking earlier, right, about doing CTFs and writing up a final report, you know what else you could do? Scope it, right? Create a scope document. They are a formal document. And you can go out to the internet and look up, let's do that. We can go to the internet and look up penetration testing scope document. I can't spell. You meant. There you go. SANS Institute. They always are helpful, right? And yeah, accept all cookies. I don't care. And then there you go. Here's a scope document. It says we can download it. So we're going to do that. And then, so you can just use this as a template. And there it is. So let's see here. You start off, scope worksheet. What is the target organization's biggest security concerns? Example, include disclosure of sensitive information, interruption of production processing, Embarrassment due to website defacement, so reputational damage. What's your biggest fear? That's what we want to address, right? So it kind of gives you your marching orders, right? Your guiding star of what kind of test you're going to want to do. I'm going a little too crazy there. I hate these framed websites. They don't let me use my arrow keys. I like to use my arrow keys up and down. What else is in here? Like what specific hosts and network ranges, applications should be tested, right? So that's what we're looking for. We want to specify them. Now, this does two things. A, it lets you know what you're supposed to be working on, and B, if you do something and someone gets upset about it, because that never happens, right? You could go, no, it's right here in the documentation. That's in scope. That's why I tested that. I used approved tools. I used the approved techniques that we said we're going to use. And it's right here in black and white. And there's your John Hancock down at the bottom. So don't give me your garbage, right? Obviously, you'd be a little more tactful than that when you're discussing it with them. But you say, if you would like us to remove this from the scope, we can modify things and change. If it's not too much trouble, you got to understand that might change the amount of time, might even change the agreement so much that we need to reassess how much is being paid and so on and so forth. So that can be a little bit of a pain, but it does happen. But there you go. Grab something like that and use that document to scope out your CTF so that you can say, I've actually done a scope. I've scoped it. I know what it is. And same with like statements of work and everything like that, right? ROEs, rules of engagement, all that stuff, extremely important to pen testing, red teaming, obviously. If you're doing vulnerability assessments, all that stuff becomes very relevant and important as you do these things. All right, let's see here. Let's check the chat room. How do you feel about job posts where they do not provide salary or expected hours? Hate it. Bullcrap. It's garbage, right? I think they're just trying. The reason that it's not set there is because they're trying to get you to say a number, and then hopefully on their end of the thing, they can find somebody with the qualifications that spouted a low enough number that they're happy with, right? It's all to benefit them. And I get it. They're playing a game. But when people don't apply to it, or what you do is if you do apply to that, you look at what the salary range is. You kind of do the math and figure out what's the average salary for this type of role. And then that's the number you throw them. Go, that's my expected salary range. Because there's going to be some people out there that throw a lower number, and they're going to want to go with that. But I don't like it, right? To me, that's strike one. Right? I was talking to a friend last night about this. He was all about, he's in a different space. He doesn't do cyber. But he was like, what if I do a job interview? He's got a job already, but he doesn't really enjoy his job, and he's looking to pivot out. He wants to go somewhere else, find greener pastures. Absolutely, right? If you don't like your job, it's time to find a new one. Don't quit your job until you have a new one, but it's time to find a new one. And he said, what if you go on a job interview and they ask you, why are you leaving your current job? And I said, for all the standard reasons. I'm looking for more opportunity. I'm looking for, a better fit. And he said, what if they come back and say, well, you're just an opportunist and you're just looking for the best job for yourself? Well, hey, dang right, I'm looking for the best job for myself. You're not. You're just going to land at whatever job you're at and just sit there and know you loathe it. That's going to be for a great work environment, because you're going to be awesome every day of your life, aren't you? You're sitting there stewing in your own hatred of your job and taking it out on it. It's going to come out, right? It's gonna exude from you and your personality if you don't like your job. You can only suppress that stuff for so long before it just eats away at you. So it's like, if they told me you're just an opportunist, I would say, hey, thanks for the interview, but you've just let me know that I don't want to work here. Right? By your response of calling me an opportunist for trying to better myself and find a job where I'm a good culture fit, I'm going to enjoy my work, and I'm going to give 110% because I like what I'm doing, lets me know that I don't want to work here. If you're a reflection of what the average employee is in this place, or the mindset behind what the work environment is. I'm good. Peace out. And I'll see you later. I want nothing to do with you. And he was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. I'm like, right. You've got it in your head that they're doing you some kind of favor by even considering you for the job. You're the catch, bro. You've got mad skills. Everybody that works with you loves you. Management is just being management and not doing what they should be doing, which is hooking you up and making you to where you would never even consider going to somewhere else because you're a valued employee. That's what's up. If you are a valuable employee and your organization is not recognizing that, or they're doing it in word only, it's time to bounce. It's time to bounce because they're taking advantage of you. And they just think, well, you won't leave, or it's too difficult to find another job. Psh, bull crap. We'll see how that works. This guy will find a new work. Hopefully you will too. Right? So you just start putting it out there. And that's the good reason to start building a good reputation in your industry. Something that you can point to and say, look, I'm a good valued employee. You can trust me because most people do, at least in my circle, right? You can see it. It's out there for the public. That's stuff you can't buy. That's not a class you can take. That's not any, right? That's not an experience or whatever you can get to put on your resume. This is one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable thing, of who you know and the reputation in your business. Start building it now if you're not doing it already. It goes all the way back to when Haircut Fish asked about making a blog. That's where it starts. Going on LinkedIn. And not just like, oh, I'm going to follow so-and-so. I'm going to follow so-and-so. Engage. Create your own posts. Whatever it is you're working on, make a post about it and try to make it as interesting as possible. Use ChatGPT to help you. If you're not great at being super creative, it's totally fine. At the end of the day, you approved what goes on the screen, so it is yours. Right? And then as people start to go, you know what? Every time I see Billy here put something on LinkedIn, it's quality stuff. Might not post every day, but when he posts, it's good stuff. Sally, man, she's killing it. Every time. She's a valued member of our community, and I want to see what she has to say whenever she has something to say. Right? So you start to get people that follow you, right? And that's going to build your reputation, and that reputation can't be bought. I'm sorry, just can't. So if you're neglecting that, you really put yourself at a disadvantage when it comes to your getting out there. Then you won't have people. People will be kind of like, oh, they might actually go, I know you from LinkedIn. I've had that happen. I know you from LinkedIn. Yeah, because I'm engaged in that community. And I have a very curated, like, I don't see a bunch of other weird things that aren't cybersecurity related because I've trained the algorithm for me to give me only that stuff. Man, I can't believe we only have 9 minutes to go. Let's see. Let's check the chat here. Space Tacos. A little late, but you made it. That's right. Happy Saturday. Let's see. Have a good rest of your weekend, Daniel. Heading out with the family. Have a good time. Haircut. I probably missed you, but I was glad to have you here. Lots of cool people in the chat this morning. Let's see here. I would run far and fast from anywhere that says that to me. Absolutely, right? That is exactly right. Preach. Every employee should be valued by the company. See, this is what they forget. And I think we forget it as well a lot. I realized that no one's doing anybody any favors. You got an organization, they have a job opening, right? Here, there's a bunch of them right here. You got penetration testers all over the place. Principal, you notice they're more of the high level. That's always fun, right? Penetration tester, retail. And obviously the salaries are looking pretty good. I think these are for seniors and whatnot, as you can see. I don't see junior behind any of these. Oh, there's one. There's a junior pen tester right there for Leidos in Huntsville, Alabama. Bamo. Alabama, right? Starting pay, $53,900, so about $54,000 to $97,000. So if you've got some skills, you've definitely got some wiggle room. I hate large. Just give me around where you are willing to pay. Start at the low end. I don't need a range. Just start at the low end. Say here, or maybe yes, a very scoped, close thing, so I can see what you're looking for. Man, come on, be that way. And yeah, that was fun. I love this. You'll notice that experience with scripting languages such as Bash and Python. Absolutely. If you're not learning programming of some way, scripting, you better start now, because it is an expected skill. I don't care what anybody tells you, right? But you've got all these jobs. They have work that needs to be done, and it's not getting done. That's why they have a job opening. So you coming in and taking that job or applying for it, you're not doing them a favor, because you need work. You want work. And if you guys agree that I have work that needs to be done, I'm going to have you do it, and you go, cool, I'm going to do the work you need me to do, that's a contract, right? It's not a favor. A favor would be, dog, I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it. Or I need work, and them go, you know what, I'm just going to give you a job just because I don't need anybody to work right now, but I'm going to give you a job. That would be a favor. That's a favor, right? You applying to a job opening and showing them that you have the skills, and them going, you know what, you have the skills. I think you'd be a good fit for this. And them giving in, like, agreeing, and you shake hands and say, I'll see you on Monday kind of thing. That is a contract. That is saying, I'm going to do the work that you need done, and you're going to pay me for it. And they go, you're going to do the work I need done, and I'm going to pay you for it. That's the deal, right? And now, if you do a really good job, I should recognize that. How do I recognize that? Typically monetarily. Hey, you've been doing great. I'm thinking about promoting you to senior pen tester. You are proven that we don't need to keep our eyes on you. You don't have to work with a senior anymore. You can do a lot with our hands off of you, right? So we only got 5 minutes, man. And then you get promoted, you get recognized, you get promotions, you get raises, you get bonuses, that kind of thing. They send you to conventions, they give you training. This is how you foster a work environment to keep somebody, to keep good employees. Why would they leave if you're constantly... I remember listening, Heath Adams was saying that he had a job, and he was doing, I think he was like a SOC analyst for them. And he had been there for a little bit, I think like 3 years or so, maybe 5. I forget how long it was now. But he thought, it's time for a raise. I need a raise. So he asked for $5,000 raise, which is nothing. Nothing. And they turned him down. And this stuck with me. I liked this. So good job, Heath from TCM Security. He said, wow, if you can make money off me, I can make money off me. I'm going to quit this job. And he quit the job. And he started his own business. And now he drives a Lambo, right? He's doing really well for himself. Now, that's not going to happen for everybody. But the philosophy is correct, right? If you can make money off me, then I can make money. If my work is valuable, then why can't I get a bigger piece of that pie? Which just goes back to doing freelance, doing contract work, where you are your boss, that you are the one doing things. And maybe you end up liking it. Maybe you're really good at it, and the word spreads. And in 5-10 years, you're driving a Lambo. Who knows? Even if you're not. Even if you're just driving a decked out Camry. Cool. Right? As long as you're happy with it, you're doing work you like, and you're sufficient, and you're maintaining, and you have enough to pay your bills and do all your stuff. Like, for me, that's winning. I won. I'm doing the job I want to do. I'm my own man or woman, as it may be, and I set my hours. I have enough money to pay my bills. I get to buy a few toys here and there, maybe take a vacation every year. I'm thrilled to death with my life at that point. I get to hang out and see my kids grow up. I get to have dates and stuff and fun with my wife. how is this a bad plan? Right? If it goes more than that, great. I'm not going to turn it down. That's not my goal. But if they can make money off me, I can make money off me, and they can make money off you. So again, it's a contract. No one's doing anybody any favors. So remember, you are valuable, and don't let them bully you because you think, I need this job. Oh, I just need this job so bad. It's almost like they've got social engineering on you, right? They're like, well, we might not give it to you there, Bob. Oh, we've got all the power, right? I don't want to work for anybody that does that to me. I don't think you should either. And every now and then, if you're desperate enough, you might have to, but it's a means to an end. It's a moment in time. I'm not saying don't do it if you have to. If you can get the job and you need it badly, take it. But immediately be looking for something else, right? And you never know. Maybe that person was just a douche. Oh, man, we got 1 minute to go. Let me check out the chat room. Every employee should be valued by the company. Right. Also, building up a body of work like that holds up against anyone who feels the need to trash talk about you later. That's absolutely right. The proof is on the internet. Just go look it up. I'm just now seeing the Pac-Man poster. Love it. Right? Yeah, my kids bought me that for Christmas last year. They were like, this will be cool in your studio, Dad. And you love Pac-Man. I do love Pac-Man. I'm actually more of a Miss Pac-Man fan than I am of Pac-Man. I think Miss Pac-Man is the superior game, whereas with Pac-Man, there are known patterns for being able to beat the game pretty easily, whereas they changed the logic in the Miss Pac-Man game to make that much more difficult. So I like that, and that game is fun. That game is super addictive. Well, there we go. I guess we're going to go ahead and call that a live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I sure did. Well, thank you for joining me. Thanks for watching. If you found it valuable, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe down there, notification bell, so you know that we're going to do it again. Right now, the schedule is going to be Fridays at 10 a.m. Okay, Eastern time. Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join, we will be doing this at least every Friday. I'm looking at maybe doing it more, like on Saturdays again. Hopefully, I'll move it up a little bit, not at 8 o'clock. Maybe move to 9 or 10 on a Saturday. But there you go. Super fun stream. Thank you so much. And thank you. I appreciate everybody that shows up. And until next time, keep hacking.